Parallel. The burden on opposition is to comprehensively prove to you that the consequences of the motion passing today is a derogatory testament to societal ethics. We're going to run the case based on the primary idea that the death row inmates are still human, and even if they have done inhuman things, they still deserve their dignity. And analyzing the metaphysics, we can argue that the debate isn't about their character, but about our ethical code and why we should treat them decently. We need to take into account the fact that for the cure to be experimented, the inmates must first be injected with the life threatening disease. This metric becomes extremely crucial because the moment we categorize one human life more valuable than the other, we inherently play God, and that is a dangerous precedent to set. In status quo, one of two things happen. Either the medicine shows no lethal side effects and the science may progress, or things go haywire and the inmate is sustained in that state of torture, dehumanized, as doctors need to keep him alive to observe and record the extent of the reaction. It would be an extremely uncharitable characterization if proposition runs the argument that medical procedures are in any way safe or non-fatal. The moment we restrict the debate to death row inmates and not medical volunteers, it is implicit in the motion that the consequences are draconian. An unforeseen side effect of passing this motion is that arrest rates will increase, and the disingenuous and the corrupt police would leverage medical development as a facade to their failed systems. Consent becomes a pivotal metric to gauge this debate. Yes, a criminal loses his autonomy the moment he commits a crime, but in a paradigm where evidence to prove innocence arrives, proposition clearly loses out of the debate. This is because if a criminal is to be hanged or electrocuted and evidence acquits him, he walks out safe. But if he's 3 doses down on a 6 dose treatment of 8 weeks, he either walks out with the side effects of an incomplete medical experiment or he's forced to complete his dosage. The grey area in the lack of legislation and administrative procedure is a huge burden on proposition to justify. Evidently, almost all major historical atrocities have one common denominator, a bandwagon of ideas which preach the false dichotomy of sacrificing lives for the greater good. And we stand against that. Our model clearly characterizes why this motion fails, extremely proud to oppose.
The motion states that death row inmates are the ones that are going to be experimented on. It's already implied to a certain extent that this form of experimentation slash medication is not something risk-free, lack of side effects or anything like that. It's not going to be something safe. Because if it was so and so safe, it would be utilized on, let's say, volunteers or general patients, right? But when it's already stated like this, it already implies that the person who's going to be experimented on has a higher likelihood of suffering, okay, has a higher chance of risk of developing side effects, symptoms, etc., which would affect their life in the long run, right? And with all that said, a human life is not exactly the same as, let's say, a guinea pig or a lab rat or anything like that, right? Simply said that you cannot go ahead and replace a human life the same way you would replace a rat's life if the rat was near death, right? So what does that go on to say? There are two ways this can go, and both sides completely loses out of the argument, right? Firstly, let's say they safeguard the human life, right? They ensure they don't do they don't do drastic experimentation on it. They don't go to large means to just say it ends justify the means. Scientists don't do that. They go on to take a safer route. Then why even bother experimenting on death row inmates, right? They could just go ahead and pick up patients, volunteers. If anyways they're going to be playing safe, why play safe on a riskier field or on death row inmates, right? Secondly, assuming they decide to go all out, yeah, they decide to actually experiment with the death row inmates simply because they cannot go on to sacrifice these inmates and they have to ensure they treasure their inmates and utilize them to their maximum extent, yeah, then what does that happen? What happens then? These death row inmates would be, let's say, put through a lot more suffering without ending their life. Why? Because they cannot simply replace this human life with another person, right? So they would go on to experiment more cruelly. They'd experiment and try to keep that inmate alive as long as possible. Why? Because they have to ensure that they get the maximum experimentation they can out of this particular inmate. So in both sides of the case, side proposition would have no reason as to why they should go ahead and experiment on death row inmates specifically. On the first hand, it makes no sense why they should. On the second hand, it is completely cruel and immoral to go ahead and experiment on these humans.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the heart of this debate is the false dichotomy, where they make you believe that by choosing to not dehumanize and take advantage of a condemned population, you're somehow doing the immoral thing and letting poor sick children die. Right? But what we believe is that if this motion was really about whether we should open up human trials for all potential life-saving drugs, then we'd be all for it, right? The problem we have is in swallowing our morality, in choosing an eye for an eye, taking a retributive view of justice, and as a result, deciding that these people who have committed crimes against society, now society must turn their back on and forget whatever moralities that we held in place when we prosecuted them for those crimes, right? And we believe that no matter whatever utilitarian argument you throw at us, for us, our principle of morality is quite simple, right? Morality depends on you. And if you do something that is bad, it's a reflection on you, not on the person you're doing it to, and no matter how much he deserved it. right? Furthermore, we believe that there are a lot of other factors that you must consider. Chief of which is that coercion is something that you just simply cannot avoid. Most human fallibility is always going to be part and parcel of this policy, and you really have to take that into consideration. Secondly, we believe that the morality aspect that we talked about, it doesn't just affect us, but it affects the justice system as a whole and for generations to come, right? We are always shackled by history, and the long dark shadow of all the crimes that have been committed in our names by our forefathers exists, be it slavery, colonialism, or whatever other historical example that you take into case, right? Finally, we also want to talk about the fact that this isn't an absolute thing, right? When you say no to one option, you're increasing the possibility that research moves into these other directions, right? By banning animal testing, we have seen that now we have come up with better computational biological tools. And as a result, we believe that the right thing to do, if you think that, life-saving treatments are important, is to increase research. And by preventing these immoral options that shouldn't be considered, we believe that will happen. We believe in human ingenuity, which is why we're very proud to oppose.